in one take. So we're gonna start with like the living room because that's where I open the camera. Right here I have a 55-gallon tank that I went and picked up this afternoon from a guy. I paid $20 from it, or for it, excuse me, and I knew it was leaking because he told me it was leaking. So I've got that shoe under it to prop it up to help it drain, but I've got a leak somewhere in here, and that's where he told me it was. So I knew I was gonna have to reseal it. So basically what I'm gonna do is expect a video coming out on how to reseal a tank, how to tear down a tank. I think this will be a great example because this is kind of what you can expect. Now I wouldn't pay $20 for a tank that you have to reseal. I would pay less than that. I would pay 10, 15 really at the most. Considering that this has blue and red paint on the top and bottom, I kind of want to kill myself. Because that paint has to come off come hell or high water. I'll break that glass before I have a blue back. But no, acetone should take it off. So I'll be using acetone. I'll get it all cleaned up, but basically expect a video where I basically show you guys how to tear down a tank. And as you can see, this is already like coming off. It's obviously been lifted from that about 1,000,000 times. And it's been redone, so I'll show you how to remove the silicone, reseal it. So maybe 2 videos, maybe just 1, but I'll show you how to reseal, which is basically where you just re-silicone the interior to protect it. And then I'll also show you how to take it apart and put it all back together with new silicone. So yeah, expect that. I want to say everybody out here is doing fine. Shrimp are doing good. Guppies are doing alright. I'm not noticing any no deaths or anything like that. But I do actually need to, basically, I'm going to be taking anywhere between 3 to 5 out. I'll be basically euthanizing them, and I'll do a biopsy in a couple more weeks. So basically I am going to be putting 4 or 5 down. I'll take some coals out basically. I have MS-222 and I also have clove oil, both anesthetics for fish. I'll wait till they're dead, and basically I am going to press on their stomachs, see if any worms come out, and then I'm also going to dissect them. I have to do it if I want to know that those fish are considered safe, and I have to do that a couple times over the span of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months perhaps. But out here, I'll give you kind of a lowdown out here of what I'm doing. So I have Java moss over here, just a big clump. I'm going to see if I can't fill this bucket. I've just got like a 5K LED, like 850 lumens, and then an air stone to kind of circulate water. So Java moss, hopefully I get a bunch from here. Hopefully I can fill it. Then I'm just messing around. I've got some dwarf sage. I want to see if I can't get this thing to carpet out. I may actually empty the water out and move this out, you know, outside once we get warmer, and really see if I can't carpet, or I'll just move what I have outside. But this is about 1 inch of dirt and then 1 inch of sand, so, you know, basic stuff. I'm kind of trying the same thing here with Christmas moss, so we'll see if this works. If not, I have Christmas moss in other places. I'm almost thinking I may have killed my Christmas moss, but to be honest, I either bleach dip this, or, I mean, you know, I put it through a dip, basically a hardcore dip, because I want to see if I can't get pure moss. Like, I don't want anything on it, so that if anybody wants to buy a moss from me, I can send them moss and they don't have to worry about snails or anything from it. Same thing with that Java moss. Now that Java moss, to be honest, looks like it have lasted a lot better, and I bleached it, my Java moss. I bleached it, and it's doing just fine. And that's 1 cap, like 5 mils per, you know, per 5 gallons there, and it did fine. So I mean, it's Java moss pretty dang hardy. Over here we're doing good. We got the pink ram's horns. Where's one? We got one right there. That's pretty pink. Trying to get those guys breeding heavily, and then we got the blue, red, leopard spots, and Malaysian trumpets. Everybody's doing good. I really need to go in here and share this with you guys, but I have CO2 for the 125. So this is my little DIY bubble counter, about 2 bubbles per second roughly. And I'll be doing a review on this maybe in a few months. I've got to make sure it works. But for 40 bucks, I got a regulator that works, and it is made for CO2. And it came with the solenoid, so for 40 bucks you get everything you need, all you need. It even came with about 20 foot of CO2 line, but I think you can get this stuff for about 4 bucks, and I'll share that with you on a CO2 update. But what you'll need if you get that is you need the tank, you need the bubble counter, and I'm diffusing mine in my hang-on back. So you can kind of see I've got it clamped up there, and it just goes into the hang-on back. And soon to be, I'll be showing how to make, basically, this is not the cheapest way to do this because these brass connectors happen to be a lot. But if you want to hit multiple tanks, what you need is to basically split it with brass connectors, get some poly line that fits the brass connectors, and this stuff is good enough. You can put gas through that, no problem. CO2 will be fine. You don't need to spend $50 online for a couple foot. But yeah, what you basically just need, like, little valves for those, and then a bubble counter at each tank so you can count how much is going into the tank. Let's see what else. Not a whole lot happening here. I'll clip it in if I can. I actually gave the Oscars, the Common Pleco, and the Jack Dempsey away to actually a very, very nice family. So I put them up on Craigslist. I didn't have any luck on Facebook, so don't know why. But I think I was selling the Jack, but I gave them all away, and it was a very nice guy. He brought his wife and his kid, and we sat and we probably talked for a good hour. Of course, I brought him into the fish room. All transactions on fish on Facebook locally, I tell people it has to be done here or at, if I go pick them up from them, I'm laying down a rule. I have to come over to your house. I'm not meeting you in a parking lot and you've got these poorly bagged fish that I'm left to deal with whatever I have at my, or I tell you nope and I really want the fish but you bagged them poorly. That it happened to me once. I had a guy kill his Killifish on me that I paid for, and I got ripped off on a Julachromis. So all deals locally are to be done at a house, and that's my law. If you're getting fish from me, it's at my house. If I'm getting fish from you, it's at your house. That's if we need water, we need whatever, it's happening at your location or my location. But this is soon going to be my black knife ghost fish and polyipterus tank. He's checking me out. I promise I'm not moving you, but we are taking this substrate out and putting new substrate in, bud. But yeah, that's the poly there. I've got 2 polys in here. The other poly's right there. I may be aquascaping this. I'm not sure. But the black ghost knife is in here right now, and it's hard to feed him. And it's hard for me to know that I'm getting him food. Basically, I've got to get some sinking pellets, and I put it right by the log because I know that's where he is. And I don't get to really see him eat it, so I'm worried that he's not getting adequate nutrition. I do check on him at least once a week, pull the log up, he's in there, he's fine, he's moving, he's great, he's not losing weight or anything, but I want a big, healthy black ghost knife in like a couple years, so basically, I'm moving him in here. These guys don't ever bother anybody, and the Oscars never bothered them, so I think I can get away with them and the black ghost knife together, and I think they'll do just fine together, to be honest. And these guys really are little puppy dogs, so that's my plan for this tank. This tank, I still haven't moved in the Plains Killifish, but that's what's going to go in here most likely. I actually may put the Plains Killifish in here. So this is the 100. I've got to back up for the shot because it's so narrow right here. But this is the 100 gallon. I'll give you my clip of what this is right here. I think you can guess. But this is going to be a planted tank as well. I am going to run CO2 to this tank, to this tank, to this tank, and to that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks minimum. And to be honest, I would love to hit 40s and 55s as well, and really just get CO2 to a lot of my bigger tanks. At least in here. Everything 40 gallons and up, I would like to you know, consider hitting CO2 with. But we'll see. We don't need CO2 in every tank. That also means I have to do more ferts, and I have to do more light. So I'll limit it, you know. But I may do the plains killies in here, which means I've got to wait for this to cycle even longer, and I've got to continue to give them 50% water changes every other day, every 3 days at the least, and I noticed they're doing quite well. Now, I'm going to correct that. Those plains killifish are hardy fish. They're known to do well in low oxygen, but low oxygen is different, and high salinity, which they're also known to do well in, is different than high nitrates and ammonia or nitrites, which you're not going to see nitrates or ammonia, but nitrates are still different. That's not something they're going to be used to. Even if they're super hardy fish, nitrates are something very different. Now, they're going to be more tolerable of nitrates than probably most wild fish, considering what they are and what I know about them, and we'll get into that when I do like a species spotlight, so to speak, on the plains killifish with everything that I've learned about them. And I'm still learning a lot about them. Native Fish Keeper has actually taught me quite a bit from what his experience has been with them. So hopefully I can take what he's taught me, what I can learn keeping them, and what I can learn from reading about them. So, but this may be their home. Basically, I want to make a stream type tank for them, and considering this is a 5-foot tank, this is a 4-foot tank, and that's a 6-foot tank, that would be the ideal. For me to keep them in there in the 125, I would want a group of, like, I don't know, at least 40. I've got 15 now, at least 30. I'll take that back, at least 30. I've got 15 now, and I'm going to put 15 or 14. It's between 12 and 15. I think it's 14. But I've got about that many, and I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to turn this into like a stream type tank. I want current in here. So I've got a sponge, and I've got that filter, and I have got these cheap little Sun power heads. We'll see if those work. It's that, wait, let me see. It's that one right there, not that one. Those I actually got for free on eBay because they none of them work. And that's upside down, but it's the XL666, and the 666 does it good justice because it's a piece of shit. And I just cussed, but they don't work. So I complained, and got my money back. And they came from China. So yeah, they're worthless. They don't work at all. They push no water at all. They come with a Venturi even, and the Venturi doesn't even work. And I opened and tried 3 of them. I tried 2 of them before I told the seller these don't work. Well, my money back. Basically, I said I need a return. And I was prepared to send them back to China and have them lose their money that they, you know, spent shipping them and buying them and doing all that. And basically, if I'm going to send something back to China and it's going to cost me more money, I'm not going to spend $60, but there's got to be a way for us to send things to China and not have it cost us a bunch of money. But I don't know. If I was gonna send it back to China, it wasn't gonna work. I was gonna probably trip and fall on it, so to speak, on the way to the post office. So I wasn't gonna be gentle, but they actually ended up offering me half of my money back, and I was like, no, they don't even work. They're half. I'm not paying half of what something's worth when it doesn't work at all. I'm not paying anything. And they're like, okay, we'll refund you all of your money. Is that okay? I'm like, well, yeah, that's fine. And I didn't have to ship it back. So cool, awesome. I don't have to pay for anything that doesn't work at all. So basically it's just sitting up there, and I'm trying to think of a way, and I've sat there and I've tried them 2 or 3 times. I'm like, oh, maybe one of them out of the 4 that I bought works. Nope, none of them work. None of them work, and they don't work at all. I've tried them in 5-gallon tanks. I've tried them in 2-gallon tanks. They don't work at all. And those are being sold on Amazon as well. It's the same exact thing. So beware of that product, and I'll show you again like my blue Kyle thing, or the blue K, that's for Kyle's wild. I need a W and another W, and I'll put that up, maybe on the ceiling, because I don't have any room. I'll mount it on the ceiling, but yeah. That's actually, I really like that, because I've got 2 blue LEDs in here, I've actually got a bunch of little night lights, basically all throughout the fish room. I've got one under there, and I've actually got one under the 100 as well. I've got one here, I've got one there, I've got one there. That one came unplugged a little bit, and you see, boom, they light up. And with all of those emitting just enough light, and to be honest, with that emitting all the blue light, I really do get a really good night light atmosphere in here, because I get a lot of blue light, and those actually add an amount of lumen. It's almost like a nighttime atmosphere. If this shuts down before I'm done editing, I'll walk in here and I'll show you what it looks like in the fish room. Alright guys, so this is the nighttime effect of the fish room. And it is in fact pretty blue in here. So, I mean, you can kind of look into this tank. I don't know how well you guys can see. We've got light through it. So they've got ambient light, and just about every tank has at least some ambient light. Some more than others. Now I really like this setup here. So I've got one of those, and that's one of the cool white ones versus the warm white ones over there. Really like that one, and I like those colors. If you were going to pick one, I would pick the cool white ones, because the color seems to work a little bit better. Now, that's my Killifish tank. You guys can't see it as good as I can, but you see how in the center it's almost vaguely lit? That looks to me exactly what moonlight would look like. So if I were to pick one, if I were you, I would go with one of the cool white ones versus one of these warmer white ones like this guy here. I think it's closer to actual moonlight setting. And then this big blue K right here really cools everything out. So over here, I mean, these guys, this Community 55 just gets a perfect moonlighting, and I'm sure they can see quite fine. I've got a Pleco right there. Another Pleco going to work. Molly's, it looks like the Akara right there. But kind of give you an idea, you can kind of actually see through that tank. I will go ahead and add this in here. The dwarf red Galaris is no longer harassing his female, and I know that because I had this up in here till this morning, my divider, and I'm keeping my suction cups in there in case I need to put it back in. But I was looking, I was like, oh my god, did he somehow jump, you know, through my lid? Was he able to get out because of all the air hoses? I was like freaking out. I was like, I was ready to cry. I literally just paid my dues for the AKA today. So I think ever since I saw, and I want to say the first time I saw like the blue Galaris was from Gianne at Inglorious Betas. I saw hers, and it was like a glimpse, and it was like in her 20 or 15 or 10 gallon. It was just like a glimpse, because all her tanks are not very well lit, and they're all heavily planted, and I could barely see it, but I saw it, and I was like, wow, that is the most beautiful fish I've ever seen, and it's 5-inch perfect size, and I want that in my possession for a very long time. So I joined the AKA today. I paid my dues. It's $30 for a year. I really hope they send me out like their AKA booklet, like Lucas got. I think he got one. So I really want that, and I really hope I get it, because I really want it. And I do plan, you're gonna see a lot of Killifish just in this fish room. I'm thinking Killifish inverts live bears, or Killifish South American cichlid, dwarf South American cichlid. And I really think is I don't have the water for South American cichlid, so that's probably why I'm not gonna do them. But I'm thinking Killifish live bear, not fancy guppy, and I'll tell you why. in another episode. But I really have a good reason why I'm not gonna do fancy guppies. And I am doing panda guppies. I love panda guppies. Maybe certain fancy guppies I'll do, but I'm not just doing the rat race of fancy guppies, and I'll tell you why later. It really is just a rat race. And we're left with a very unfair advantage. But I paid my dues for the American Killifish Association today, and I think it's because I love them. I think they're my favorite fish. I am planning on, as soon as Lucas has his blue Galaris pair ready, I am going to be buying his. There's another blue Galaris I want to try and get from the same guy I got these guys from. And look at them, they're so amazing. But I think I skipped a part, but I thought he jumped out. And basically I looked around and he jumped over. There was a little bit of room. He did not go under, he had to go over. Because I looked in here everywhere, he was not on his side, and he poked his head out of the coconut and he was in there with her. So I was like, he just missed her really bad and he went in the coconut with her. So if you're Killifish, I will go ahead and say this, Charles, just in case yours get aggressive, just separate them for a little while, put a divider in between. If you want to breed like Lucas said, I would remove them, separate them from tanks for a while, like a couple weeks or month, and condition them. I don't want these to breed for me yet. I kind of want to get an RO system. See, that's a poop. That's one of her poops, I think. Where is it? Right there. That's not stringy, that's just like held together very well. I'm probably going to feed them brine shrimp after this because I do not like how long and how hard that's holding together. I'm going to be feeding them brine. I need to start feeding brine consecutively, like every other day in here. Or like, yeah, probably at least every other day I want to feed baby brine. But Lucas doesn't feed brine, but he feeds, I feed them twice a day, so 2-3 times a day, and one or at least one of those being live worms, so. I'm gonna get some brine in there, but yeah, I love them. I really like Killifish, so you're going to be seeing a lot of that in this channel. I'm thinking, because I have the hard water, Killifish live bears, and I do have wild Killifish at my disposal, so yeah, Killifish live bears and invertebrates with a few oddballs. So I do want to say this, I've been thinking about giving these guys away for a while now, and I've changed my mind. I am going to be keeping the pea puffers, and I'm going to be breeding them, so I'm going to be selectively breeding them. They're not fully adults yet. I've got some runts in here, and I just don't think they're eating as well as the others, because basically when I feed these guys really good, my little runts, like that guy's skinny tummied and that one's skinny tummied, their bellies bulge. I just don't think they're eating as good as everyone else, so they're kind of getting out competed. I better reach, sorry guys, gotta reach my hand in here. Ooh, this tank is cold now. I removed the heater on it, and I've been letting them go room temp, which is 75. And basically it's 75 because I get cold in here. Or excuse me, I get hot in here, and I don't like being a hot person, so I may end up heating more tanks, I don't know. But if I want them to breed, I'm probably going to have to bump up their temps. But I don't know what temp they're at now, so that means I got to put a thermometer in there. But basically, I'm going to be keeping them and breeding them. I know that's like a female there. She's in the center of the screen, and I know like that's a good male. So I've got way more males than females, but I think I've got just enough females. Like that's a good, that male right there is getting big. Why is he freaking out? He must not like me. He wants out of there. So I'm going to leave them alone. And I think that encompasses the update well enough. Of course there's more going on in here, but I think that's enough for now, and that really does bring you guys up to date on what I've got going. I always have to reshoot these. I've shot this like 3 times in little bits and pieces, and it's just, I'm gonna do this one, but I always have to reshoot these because I really do have ADD. I really do. And I just get so carried away with all the different things. I don't know what to put in and what not to put in. So I've got to stop and like think, okay, what needs to go in and what does not need to go in. So I really have to think about it. But really have to like tame my passion basically, and hopefully I learn how to do that. And basically over time I will learn how to tame the passion. I had to do it last channel and I'll do it again this time. But anyways guys, I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you stick around and think of subscribing, think of liking or disliking the video. And if you don't mind, I'm still going to be doing this until we reach our goal, or at least get close enough there. And if it means that I have to donate like $5 or $10 a week, I will. But I have started a GoFundMe for Lucas at LRBAquatics, and I will say this, the reason I have done it is because in one of his last updates, if you click on the video link at the GoFundMe, which I'll put it on the title here, and I'll put it at the end of the video and down in the description. If you click on that link, you'll see somewhere in the video, about 8 minutes or 10 minutes in, when he has to edit his videos or stream, he has to sit at his computer for about 2 hours and reload and shut down and restart and reload, and I just did that with my PC. And it's an uphill battle that you will not win, because it's just impossible. You can't do it with out-of-date technology or faulty computer and digital technology. It's just not possible. And the reason I'm asking that we fund him for this, and someone made the statement, well, we all spend all of our money on our fish room. True, but we don't all have 150 tanks, and we don't all give amazingly helpful advice. And I really truly believe that Lucas is the only one-man 150 tank breeder, no auto water change system on YouTube that is telling us and teaching us. If you watch Corey, again, I promise you, all of Corey's fish room tours with breeders who have ridiculous amounts of tanks and have to spend all of their time breeding, you will never see another one on YouTube. And you want to know why? Because they do not have the time. And the fact that Lucas makes the time is something different. And we, as hobbyists, and if you consider yourself a friend of Lucas like I do, should greatly value the fact that he is here, and we should fight to keep him here. I hope you understand that. I really, really hope you do. If you don't, that's fine. I'm going to fight to keep him here to the best of my abilities, because he's an amazing person, and there is no one else like him on YouTube that I have found. Not to say that there aren't people with that many tanks. LRBAquatics has a lot of tanks, but he has, I want to say, employees in a building, and Lucas is a different walk of life, and he's rare and he's unique, and I really do consider him the fish wizard. So I'm going to leave it at that, you guys. Have a good day, and I hope your fish are doing well. So have a good one.